We live? Well, we're live, everybody. I do believe. Sorry for the inconvenience. We had technical difficulties just a little bit before. Welcome to Channel Albany, and I'm Annette with Let's Talk with Annette, your host for today. When we come to you and we talk about what's going on in our community, we talk about what we're doing as our organization underneath Let's Talk with Annette, which is Parents of Angel Children. For you, those of you who know that we just started our nonprofit organization in May of 2024, where we work with parents who've lost a child under any circumstances, and we also serve the communities for those who suffer from violence so much. But we'll go on further with that. But today, Albany, I have a special guest that's joining us, Allison, and she comes with an incredible, important story that she wants to share. So back to Let's Talk with Annette. You know, we come and we talk to you guys wishing to bring you hope. A lot of us are going through dark times, dark places in our life. You know, I'm an author of The Hand I Was Dealt. On Amazon, you can find the book, and I keep promising you I'm going to bring copies of the book. I will, probably the next time. We come to, I'm the author, and we come to you to just bring you hope that no matter what it is that you're going through, if you're suffering from mental illnesses, drug addictions, you're grieving, your loss of a child, the loss of family members. I've been through it all, and in my book it tells us how I've overcome that. That's why I come to encourage and inspire you that if I came through mine, that you can get through yours too. But underneath Annette, Let's Talk with Annette, we started the organization. And let me tell you a little bit about what we got going on in 2025. So in January, we did our first quarterly event, which was a appreciation luncheon where we served almost 30 people in our community, just giving back love for all the support that we received in 2024. Coming up in the first Saturday of April, Parents of Angel Children, we are doing a plate and bake sale here in the great city of Albany, New York. It will be at 139 Knox Street. I want you guys to mark your calendar for Saturday, the April 5th. Anybody on social media that's watching this, or anybody on Channel Albany Spectrum, our local TV network, look out for Parents of Angel Children, all on your social media, our plate and bake sale. We are looking to raise funds that us as a new organization can raise money so that we can continue to do what we are doing, and that's serving parents who've lost their child and the communities that we live in. So today, let me tell you a bit about my guest speaker, Allison. Allison, who has an incredibly important story. She's a mother of 9 children, and she's witnessed firsthand the struggles that come with generational trauma, particularly as she supported her son through his battle with mental illness. Allison's story sheds light on how community violence and post-traumas have deeply affected not only her family, but many families within the community. Allison's courage to speak out about her son's struggle is powerful, and she's using her voice, bringing awareness to the reality of mental health and mental illness, especially within the context of generational trauma. Through the pain she carries is fresh, Allison is here today to share her journey, her strength, and her determination to keep hope alive. She's also been a driving force behind The Seeds of Hope, a short documentary film about a mother who's dedicated to turning tragedy into hope while working tirelessly to bring positivity to her community. When I met Allison, it was through Urban Grief, which is a local organization here in Albany that serves the community trauma. And what else do they do? Domestic violence. So I met her on one of their support groups for parents who've lost their children. And since I've known Allison, she has done such great work in the community. So I brought her on as a guest here today for us to talk about what we can do, what we would like to see done in our community for those who are watching, the politicians, the powers that be, and everyone, even you as just a member of the community, of the society, you can get involved and help. But Allison, what do you think we need more of in our communities, especially here in Albany, and communities worldwide can also benefit from, the changes that we need seen so that we can have less violence, less mothers have to bury their children. Allison.
Well, I first want to say we need to have more love and compassion in our hearts. And that starts at home. A lot of the cycles of domestic violence and violence in general, it starts at home. How we rear our children and the things that our children see at home, it pours out into the community. So the foundation is home and family. And we just need more love and compassion for each other. When we're struggling with generational trauma, it just stems from the things that our parents went through. And until we are able to deal with those traumas, then they become things that are passed down to our children. Not intentionally, but it happens. And so then we have a whole big situation that is, until we can deal with those traumas and heal from those traumas, then we're just gonna, the cycle is just gonna repeat itself.
So Allison, would you like to share, the world knows my story. Once again, I wrote my book, and my son Wayne Best was murdered in Schenectady 10 years ago. Allison, would you like to share your story with us? Because we are parents of angel children, and that's how we connected. And today we want to talk about more what we need to see in our communities. How can we give guidance to the youth out here today that have, very little, they have no care for human life? Allison, would you like to share with us your story and what you've went through?
Well, I was a mother of 9, but before I was a mother of 9, I was a very young mom. I was a teenage mom when I had my son. And so I experienced domestic violence in that relationship, control and power, as so young, not really knowing what to do and how to navigate that. And so by the grace of God, I was able to come out of that situation. And unfortunately, those behaviors that we see again is from the generational trauma and the lack of support in the community and the lack of resources in the community. So these issues don't get addressed. The violence doesn't get addressed. The domestic violence, the sexual assault, the abuse, just any type of victimization that's going on in the home, if it doesn't get addressed, it just continues to go on generation after generation. So being a young mom and trying to raise my son in a community where there was lack of resources, it didn't afford me too many opportunities to be able to get the resources to be able to help my son, who comes from an abusive, situation where these situations would occur, and over time, the things that he started to see or the lack of, it just grew into something that, I never anticipated happening. So I just struggled as a young mom, trying to keep him safe in the streets. And again, there was no resources. There was no one reaching out to support me and the things that I needed to be able to help guide my son. So, and then it wasn't just my family, but the friends of his, their families too. So again, if we're all in the same situation, we need to pull together to be able to help one another. And again, we have to have that love and compassion in our heart to want to do so, but sometimes the trauma outweighs that. And so it's just a sad situation that we're in.
So my understanding, I want to summarize what you just said. We need in our communities resources for the young people. We need resources for the old. We need resources where people are not getting the resources. Here in Albany, I live on the south end of Albany. We lost a McDonald's. We lost a Family Dollar. All the little restaurants. You look at our south end of Albany. You look at our city of Albany on the weekend or after 5 p.m. when the people that work 9 to 5 go home. It's suffering. You know, we have organizations that are doing extreme big things. I want to send shout out. We have, I think it's Bridge the Gap with Eva Bass in North Albany that does so much for the children on that end. That's in North Albany. We got Albany Gun Violence Prevention Program. We got Men on a Mission. We got Snug. There's so many. Wizards Wardrobe. There's so many. I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm sorry if I do. But if I did, I just because I can't get you off I can't think of it right now. But on the south end of Albany, you know, there's so much going. There's nothing, no resources. There's no community center. Where do the children go? What after school programs are there? We have the church by Hoffman Park. We have, what does he do? Teen Night. What's his name again? Allison, can you help me out?
Teen Night.
He's been doing it for 20-something years.
Oh, David Graham.
David Graham. We do have a lot of people that are putting forth efforts to make a difference in the youth and in our communities that we live in, but it's not enough.
No, it's not.
It's not enough. I look into the community that I live in and I see, Allison, we lost a great church. The only thing we have is the city mission on our south end, and I'm going to talk about it. But where do the kids go? Where do the children have to go? And if there's nowhere for the children to go, of course it's easy for them to get sucked into the streets.
Yes.
And once they're sucked into the streets, then we got gangs. They're learning about drugs, and they're learning about the guns and the gun violence. You know, I lost my son to gun violence, and it's so many of us. I pulled up a statistic from the government's website, thegunmemorial.org, and I just went into our city, and hundreds, thousands, probably not recorded. But there, you take a look around your city, and it's just not Albany. This is cities all across this nation.
Right.
That there's lack of resources. That's why there is so much violence. And if we can, each and everyone watching this today, if you watch this later on, if each and every one of us can just do a little part, we would make such a bigger difference in the community that we live in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like Parents of Angel Children, we haven't been incorporated. We've only got incorporated in May. We just got our city certificate, city and state certificate today. We're still waiting for the government. But we've done so much in our little bit of time. We do a quarterly event. Like I said, the next quarterly event will be for April, the first Saturday in April. We give back to the children. We did a community gathering to bring the children out, feed the children, toys and supplies for school at Elijah Missionary Church. That was in July of 2024. Right now, we are looking for donations of book bags and school supplies. We want to get that started early so that we know we have enough supplies and that no child is left behind. Allison does a tell us about the walk that you started, Allison, as well, on the south end of Albany.
For women.
For
yes.
women, okay,
Yes,
talk about
women.
that some.
It started out for moms, because I think that keeping ourselves fit and healthy gives us strength. When we're combating grief, so when we're feeling good and we're exercising, taking care of ourselves is part of self-care. We have to do that. We have to keep ourselves motivated. So I started the Footprints of Hope at Lincoln Park every Saturday and Sunday for an hour, starting at 9. And it was summertime and we were out there and it was nice. And now that it has gotten cold, a couple of the moms have gotten ahead of me and started walking in the Empire State Plaza on the concourse.
Can you tell them again, when do they walk? When do you walk again?
Saturdays and Sundays,
Okay.
from 9 to 10. And soon, starting in February, we're going to be on Zoom doing exercises for 30 minutes, just for those who can't get out because of the cold, because it is very cold out there.
And how would somebody, Allison, be able to get more information from you or sign up and participate in that?
You can check out the flyers that'll be on the Urban Grief website,
Okay.
the Urban Grief Facebook page, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So all of the information and all the things that we do at Urban Grief are on the Facebook Urban Grief Facebook page.
Okay. So there's, if we're doing a little bit, they're doing a little bit, there's so many other people doing a little bit, but we need more people to do more.
Yes.
We need each and every one, if you can just do a little bit, it would make such a difference. I mean, I just signed up Wizards Wardrobe. Another good thing here in Albany, tutoring. There are so many children that at home, they don't have any guidance. They don't have, the parents may be on drugs. There may be domestic violence going on. There may be mental illness going on. If we can make a difference in one child's life, we are making a difference. We can change a child's life for the rest of their life. So we're encouraging and inviting everyone to just do your little part. Even with the walk, any exercise. If we're living better and we're healthier, then that gives us more of us that we can give to someone else. And the children today, especially in the communities that suffer the most, the communities that are forgotten about, they need your help. Parents of Angel Children, we are always looking for sponsors to sponsor us. You can always go to our website, parentsofangelchildren.com. You can reach out to me at parentsofangelchildren@gmail.com. We are always looking for volunteers, sponsors, annual contributors, pledgers. We're looking for people to help us so that we can continue our efforts in everything that we do. I'm just one person, we're one small organization, but there's so many other. And the last time I came to you on Channel Albany, I said, if you are out there and you're not doing anything, then you're part of the problem. And shame on you. And I do shame everyone who doesn't contribute or doesn't make an effort to try to make this world that we live in a better place.
If I could just shed a little bit of light on the community violence in terms of, I want to say that the mental health issue that we have, a lot of our children have been victimized and have suffered community violence. And so as a result of community violence, they have experienced some mental health issues, PTSD, and it goes on. And so right along with the generational trauma. So it's important that we find out how we can get involved and help be part of the solution to this issue, because it's sad, because the families have even, I want to say, when it becomes a mental health issue, families will not know how to deal with their own family members. And those young people that are suffering from mental health issues, the mental illness, are left to and feel abandoned, a lot of times. And they have families that are here. Their families are here, but because of the mental health issues, the mental illness is so it's a scary thing, and so families don't know how to deal with their own family members that are suffering. Like these young people, they didn't always have these issues. Maybe those issues, like I said, generational trauma and mental health issues that stem from their families, but having the community violence just sparks it up. And so, it's important that families know that, these kids, they don't have anybody. And if they don't have anyone, they're not going to grow, they're not going to get better, they're not going to get it is what they need. And we're really in a sad situation. And so it's important that we find love and compassion in our hearts, because life is really short-lived. And if you continue to keep turning a blind eye to what's happening, and you lose your loved ones, and then that's more trauma for you to deal with, because then it's like, well, I could have done this, or I should have done this, and then it's too late. So we have to take and look at our situation and not turn a blind eye to what's happening, because if it's not gun violence or any type of victimization, is going, our kids are dying from suicide, because they'll think that, no one cares about them, and they'll feel abandoned right when they have family that they know lives right around the corner or right down the street. But because you can't, because you don't understand what's happening, it's happening, but because you don't know how to deal with it, it's always just reach out and ask for help. That's it.
I love that. Because it is true. If once again, if you're not doing anything, then you are a part of the problem. Allison said a lot about the mental illness, which plays a big role in what's going on in our society today. And we cannot turn a blind eye. There's so many organizations. There's so many programs. There's so much. I think it's 211 you dial on your phone. 211. You can dial it from anywhere in this country, from any cell phone, and you can get connected to the resources that you can get help. But to do nothing, you're a part of the problem. We each need to do whatever we can do to make our cities, our communities that we live in, not just here in the great state of New York and Albany, the capital of the great state, no, everywhere. Because this is going out, this is live, and this is going out all across this country, and it may expand further than that. So we each can do our little part, even if it's just making a donation today. Did you know that $1 donation can make a difference to an organization that you believe in? I remember speaking last week at the Frank Chapman Memorial Institute, and that's an organization. They do the Hoods for Hoops. They got the basketball. They got the senior activities. They got the bingo. And a lady asked me, I think it was a lady asked me what was my mission. I said, to sum it up in 2 words instead of a couple of sentences, it's just to spread love. Spread love. If I can do my little part, you do a little part, Allison does a little part, and if we all do a little part, it will shift what's going on today. I have sat down with some of the lowest people you would consider lowest people, because they're homeless, they smell, they haven't taken a bath, they're living on the streets, they're on drugs, they got mental illness, and spoken with them, spreading love. You know what? Let's go get you a new pair of shoes. And sometimes I take away from myself to give, but that's my way of spreading love and pouring back into the community, especially the community that suffers the most. Our time is dwindling down, but having Allison with us today as a special guest, it was just, thank you, Allison. You're my first guest with Let's Talk with Annette at Channel Albany. And, we're looking, I connected with her because we're on the same mission. We want to spread love. We want to see better for the communities that we live in. We want to see more people get involved. She spoke about Urban Grief. That's an organization that also provides services right here in Albany, New York, that, if any type of violence you've been affected by, connect with them. There's no reason why we're not putting forth an effort to make a difference where we are. If we're just sitting back and we're complaining about this is bad, that's bad, this is not gonna change, that's not gonna change. But if we're not putting forth just a little bit of effort to help make the change, you're part of that problem. Once again, I'm Annette with Let's Talk with Annette. I come to you every other week. I'm live with Channel Albany here in Albany, New York. And with Spectrum, I think it's on channel 1025, your local Spectrum channel, if you have cable. I don't think too many people, but you can also go to their website, go to their YouTube page.
1301.
1301. Thank you for the correction of that channel. They also have the YouTube page, Channel Albany. Like, subscribe, share the information that we get right here in our city is very, people need to be informed about what's going on, what's happening. And so, Allison, is there anything else before we close? And remember that channel 1301 on Spectrum and also Channel Albany on YouTube. Please go to subscribe to their YouTube channel and like and share and get involved. There is no reason, even if you're working for 80 hours a week, you can still get involved. Your $1 donation is getting you involved. And you can donate Wizard's Wardrobe, another good one. They did free tutoring, volunteer, get involved in your community. And Allison, would you like to say anything to the viewers before we end for today?
Yes, I'd just like to say that this is your community. And if you want your community to change, then you have to be the change that you want to see. It's not like when we were growing up. It's changed. And if we sit back and just watch things happen and not be a part of that change, then things are just going to deteriorate. And I don't want to see that happen. And I'm sure that you don't. But just know that there are people out there that need you. And so again, be the change that you want to see.
Thank you so much, Allison. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And with that, we will see you the next time. Thank you.